Hey guys, welcome to another week here. So we're gonna do the beginner's course today, and we're gonna start with some closed guards. So this is a really basic position that I think a lot of people underrate it, and so we're gonna go do some arm drag today. Nice and easy. Talking about the closed guard position here first. So right. I got my legs closed around Christian here, and there's a couple of principles that are really important when it comes to breaking his posture and how I'm moving my hips here, right? What you're gonna notice a lot is that if my hips are on the floor, then I'm not really having any momentum to pull him down. But as soon as I lift my hips off the floor, watch how there's some space between my hips and the floor here, okay? So this is what I like to use to bring him down. Of course, you have to fight for the hands. You have to make sure that he's not posting on the floor. Of course, this gives me a couple of attacks to go for. But of course, I'm fighting here, and this allows me now to bring him down. Okay, right? So of course, it's gonna go back and forth. There's gonna be him fighting to posture up again, me removing his posting hands, and then coming back down. Okay. Last but not least, very important is to look for angles. Okay, he in a sense wants to always keep me straight in front of him. For me to attack things, I'm looking for either the collar, the arm, but I'm also looking to change the angle here. Okay, so when I'm changing the angle, that's when I can start setting up arm bars, triangles, and all sorts of things, right? So we're gonna start off with a really basic setup here for the arm drag. I like to grab the sleeve, you can grab the wrist. It's kind of preference in a sense, right? And what I'm gonna go for now is I'm gonna grab over his tricep here, okay? So watch how I'm gonna pull his arm to me like this, okay? So it's either this one or you're grabbing under like this, like the classical arm drag here, okay? To some sense, I like this one because it feels stronger, but again, there's a lot of preference. There's a couple of different ways to do this, okay? So we're gonna change the angle here a little bit. So, working on his head here, so I'm pulling it across my body, okay? To see how his elbow crosses my midline, and what I'm looking to do now is start to connect myself even further to him, tight to his upper body here, okay? So I'm gonna pull him and come close, okay? So the grip that I'm looking for is his armpit on the other side here, or his lat. So I'm really like trying to hold on to it. If there's some fabric that you find that you can grip on, that's perfect. But if not, just try to hook it and hold tight, okay? So now that I have this shoulder locked inside, I have to make sure that I keep it here, okay? At no point do I want his arm to come back out like this, okay? So I'm pulling his arm over, I got tight, and you have to fight and really hold on to here, okay? So now I'm gonna use my foot on the same side that I'm controlling to kind of hip escape my hips out a little bit to the side here, okay? So still holding on, I'm coming here, okay? Watch how I'm gonna bring this leg high up here, okay? So almost like touching his ribs here with my calf, like this, okay? So we're gonna turn here again. Going for a nice and easy sweep here. I think it's called the pendulum sweep, but you guys can always correct me. I always mess up the names. So here, I'm gonna go under his thigh here, okay? So if I can, like to say his leg is a little bit closer, with this leg, I can go as deep as possible, but sometimes this is enough. If you just get the grasp with your hand, that's fine, okay? So now I've gotten to the point where I can start setting up the sweep, okay? Important part here, let's turn. So this leg, I'm gonna create some momentum here with this leg here. So I'm really like trying to circle like up to the side and then down, so I kind of like chop it in towards his legs, okay? At the same time, I'm gonna bring him over me, okay? Suddenly he's quite weightless and I can tip him over, okay? Watch how my leg is not under his back when he falls down, right? If my leg was here, I'm gonna get stuck when I try to get up, but when my leg is behind him, suddenly it's a lot easier for me to come up to the mount. Probably we're a little bit too close. So start from the beginning, go for the arm drag here, boom, I got connected to his back, and step, and hook under his thigh here, okay? So watch how I'm gonna use this leg as a pendulum to create the momentum here, okay? boom, come up on top. Nice and easy. You're in the mount, just post your hands out on the side because likely there's gonna be a little scramble and you have to maintain the position to get the points. Okay? So let's do it from a different angle here. Boom. Okay? So nice and easy, basic sweep. Sets up a lot of different attacks as well, but definitely one of the bread and butter of close guard. Well, thank you guys. Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here. Same setup into the pendulum sweep, but we're gonna go for a back take now. So I got past his arm. Nice and easy here, pulled it to the side, and I'm grabbing his back here, okay? So important part here is to notice how Christian is putting his weight either on top of me or if he's trying to go away. Like a lot of the times you'll try to go for the pendulum sweep and he feels you're trying to pull him that way, okay? Suddenly he's putting all his weight on his left leg here and he's really trying to stretch himself out to this side, which is making it super hard for me to bring him and do the sweep, okay? But now, suddenly, his back is available here. This is super easy and nice back take that I can do. So I still have to make sure I'm maintaining this control on the back or behind his shoulder here, okay? So still holding on to his armpit, I can now come up on my elbow, okay? Almost like a technical stand-up, I'm gonna bring this bottom leg out here and become the first hook, okay? As soon as I've done this and I'm posting with my hand here to get high and right behind his back, I'm looking for the seat belt here, okay? Nice and easy. Once I got the seat belt, I can throw in the second hook as well, and this is a good control to start out with. So, again, the reaction is what I'm looking for here, okay? So, I pull the arm. Let's say I try to go for the sweep, but now he's really posting, he's staying on this side. It's making it hard for me to go for the sweep. I'm gonna come up on my elbow, go for the seat belt, and then the second hook as well, right? So it's gonna be a little bit of a spontaneous move right there. You're gonna try to do as fast as possible because it's a timing thing, okay? So here, boom, he's moving away. Get up, get tight to his back. You can set up different attacks. And most likely, as soon as you're grabbing his neck, his hands will be grabbing your hand, and then you can kind of roll over to either side, okay? Well, last time here, different angle. Let's see here. So he's moving away, he doesn't want to come with me, fine. And we have the back, okay? Nice and easy. You could always play around with the back take and the sweep there, and both of them lead into great positions, so that's always good. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, welcome to another week here at the beginner's course, and we're gonna go through some close guard here today. So we're gonna do some basic stuff, arm drags, a sweep there, and a back take. So starting off with some few basic concepts that are always good to know. You might know them from before, but always good to repeat, right? So close guard in this position here, nice and easy. And I feel like this is a little bit of an underrated position because there's so much I can do and there's so little he can do, right? So if you can get here, it's always a smart idea. So watch how my hips can either be active or inactive. So right now, if my hips are on the floor and just like lazy, I'm not doing much. What I want to do, if I want to break his posture, is I want to lift my hips up and bring myself a little bit towards him here. So watch how I bring my heels down, I bring my hips up. So now, what happens is that a lot of the times he's going to have a posting hand either on me or on the floor, depends on what's happening, right? But what I'm looking to do is control his hands and now use my hips to create enough power to bring him down, okay? Suddenly, he's close, and I can start moving and attacking different angles here. And that's also a thing about close guard, is important to look for angles. I'm always looking for pushing on his hip on one side, going a little bit closer on the other, climbing up, getting tighter around his neck, around his shoulder on one side, and this is going to give me triangles, arm bars, omoplatas, all sorts of attacks, right? So the concept of breaking the posture and getting the angles is really important in close guard. So today we're going to go for an arm drag here, nice and easy, and what I'm going to do here is just grab the wrist on the same side here, and I'm going to go with my hand over and grab his tricep here, okay? Of course, you can grab the with the inside like this, that works as well, of course, but this is just my preference, and I don't know, this is what I've been doing a lot. So here, I'm going to grab the tricep, I'm going to pull it across my body here, okay? So we're just going to turn so you guys can see. So what you notice is I have a midline here, and I want to make sure I'm pulling his arm all the way over, okay? As soon as I've managed to push his arm to the side, suddenly I can get really close here and try to catch his lat on the other side here. So I'm really like using my fingers here, get inside his armpit and get tight, okay? Of course, I'm using a little bit of my hips again, like we were talking about. I want to bring him to me and get tight here, okay? Suddenly now, I'm really isolating this arm here, his shoulder, and so that he can't get this arm back in front of me, okay? It's important that I use this arm to pull him tight to me, so that if he tries to bring this arm in again, like just try a little bit, there. So now it's hard, okay? If I'm too loose, then suddenly his arm is gonna come back, and I have to fight again for the same position. So, boom, and I got you. So as soon as I have this, I can start setting up a couple of attacks, okay? In this scenario, Christian is on top of me. He's putting his weight on top of me. Perfect. Now I can set up the pendulum sweep here, okay? So what I'm going to do on one side here, just... So I got close. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my foot on his hip bone, and I'm going to use it to rotate a little bit, okay? So when I rotate, I'm going to bring this other leg high up beside his ribs, like this, okay? So on the other side here, boom, boom, boom. I got it, whoop, and here. So what I'm looking to do is underhook his thigh here, okay? If I can, let's say he's closer with his leg, I would want to go all the way as deep as possible. That would be perfect, okay? Sometimes we're not that lucky, so I'm just going to get my hand through, and that's fine enough. But I can pull myself a little bit with my hand here, okay? So now, I got into the sweep position here, okay? So what I want to do now with this leg that I had on his hip, I want to use it to create a little bit of a pendulum here, okay? So watch how my foot comes up, goes to the side, goes down, and then I'm kind of like chopping into his knee here on the other side. So when I do that, I'm trying to bring his weight on top of me here, okay? So I'm using my leg to get this. Suddenly, all his weight is right on top of my center of mass, and I can now turn him to the side and get the top position, okay? Important detail, my leg should never be right underneath him, okay? Then I might get stuck, and it's gonna be really hard for me to come up. So I wanna bring this leg really far back as we come up, and then nice and easy, I can get the mount position. Make sure to post out to the sides and stabilize, because it's likely gonna be a little bit of scramble, at least the first few seconds when you're going for the points, right? Jesus, you have a lot of here. So, arm drag here, I got to his back, putting my foot on his hip, and I'm going for the underhook under the leg here, okay? Still holding on to this arm or this lat here, so I'm really holding him tight so he can't pull the arm out again, and I'm using this leg to pendulum and create this momentum where I can sweep him over, okay? Of course, in reality, it's not gonna be 3, 4, 5 repetitions of the spin, but as a beginner, this is a really nice way to learn the technique, right? And not just force it through with a lot of muscle. So, other side here. So I pull the arm, and watch how I want to bring him down as I do that, right? So it's important to initiate the hips here. Use my foot, spin to the side, and I hooked under his thigh here. Now I'm going to pendulum with my leg, come up to the top, post, make sure he doesn't escape, and then get my points, right? Wuss. Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here, and what happens a lot is when the guy knows about the pendulum sweep, he's gonna try to base out to the other side, and that makes it a lot harder for me to try to sweep him, right? But that's when I can go for the back take. So what we're gonna do now is basically the same setup where I managed to pull his arm over, I got tight, and as soon as I'm trying to go for that underhook on the thigh, he's moving away, and it's really hard for me to get any sort of control to pull him over to this side here, okay? But again, what he's giving me now, he's giving me his back here. It's really available, and all I have to make sure of is that I'm pulling myself up. And what you're gonna notice as well is that when a person is moving away, they're kind of pulling you with them, okay? So I will feel that when he's pulling away, I can come back up on my elbow here, okay? So now I'm pulling this bottom leg through, and it becomes my first hook, okay? Straight away, I'm looking to get that seatbelt position here, okay? So I want to really straight away grab diagonally across and catch his arm and his head here, okay? If you can, go straight for the hook as well, and then get your points as well here, okay? Most of the time, it's going to be a fight to get that last hook, but at least if you have the seatbelt here, you have a good starting position to start looking for the back kicks, okay? So, starting from the beginning here again, pulling his arm over. I got the control. Let's say I try to go for the pendulum sweep. He's moving away. I can come back up on my elbow here, okay? Watch how I'm bringing this bottom leg under me, okay? Just like a technical stand-up, I'm gonna use this leg to lift myself up and this hand here, okay? Boom, come up, seatbelt, okay? So now I'm looking for the second hook, and I can start attacking the neck, rear naked choke, or just a arm bar or something else, right? So one more time here. Boom. Here. So I tried to go for the pendulum sweep first, I couldn't, so I'm coming up here and going for Christian's back. Okay? Well, thank you guys for watching. Always make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, see you guys next week.